and we're at 8:36. 36 degrees outside. How's your morning going with all that gorgeous sunshine? Well, we're glad you're here with us. When I say we're talking about, of course, your Magic Morning Crew, which on Tuesday mornings at this time includes Mike Barrett from Barrett Insurance Agency, still practicing CDC guidelines with safe distancing. Mike calling in. How are you, Mike?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I got a really good idea for our conversation this morning, okay?
Oh, I like good ideas. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you always have great ideas too, but we are less than 1 hour away from the official beginning of autumn. I don't know if you know that or not, but 9:31 this morning, autumn starts, right?
Oh.
I know, that's what everybody's thinking. But the reason I thought about this, okay, is because this is the time of year that people are deciding to put away their summer toys and get out there, you know what we call them, our winter beaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, our non-collectible driving machines. So time to think about automobile insurance and, of course, other insurance. What do you think we start talking about that?
You know, you bring up a good conversation, thought starter for sure. I mean, the shifting of the seasons is certainly a time of changing the mindset of how you address things for insurance and how you get things ready for what's inevitable ahead of us, and that is some cold months and snow. So, so we actually, there are some folks that we insure that when they call and reduce coverage on their vehicles, we get sad because we know it's an indicator that the season is behind us. You know, those nice seasonal summer vehicles that don't see salt or snow, that are now getting stored away. And, many people will take advantage of some cost savings opportunities. And when they store those vehicles, they will actually reduce coverage on them. And they're able to do so because many times people who have those types of vehicles, I'm talking like collectible cars in some cases, or really Mustangs or Camaros, the vehicles you wouldn't necessarily want to drive on a snowy road. You can reduce coverage on those and save a little bit of insurance costs because the vehicles are parked safely away. You don't need liability on them. You can often reduce it down just to comprehensive only coverage. Especially if you're at a point where you're not really running the risk of running into the vehicle yourself with any of your other vehicles, which could become a collision circumstance and confusing, and we won't get into that. But certainly that shift is on, and now bringing out the winter vehicles, the winter plow trucks that may have been sitting and waiting. But also it's the shifting of the season to make sure that you have done all the preparedness for changing of how you keep your house. You know, you're talking getting the chimneys clean, getting them inspected, making sure your wood stove, if you use one, is safe, getting your oil burners all serviced, doing that ounce of prevention to be a pound of cure to make sure that you don't run into problems as the new season is upon us. You know, the chimney fires are a real problem that start this time of year because maybe people start burning wood without having done an inspection of their chimney, and there's an unknown crack in there that could have been the result of maybe a chimney fire from years ago or any number of things. So it's time to kind of have that mindset of being prepared and getting ahead of the curve before Mother Nature really unleashes winter upon us.
Well, obviously safety first here, and you too brought up some wonderful points there too. I mean, a lot of folks have a seasonal checklist, like changing the batteries in their smoke detectors if they're still not hardwired and things like that. So like you just said, all right, Hannah, it's time to sit down and go over our insurance needs. The kids are off to school. We're down to 2 cars in the household, things like that. So having these seasonal checklists is rather important when it comes to your insurance.
It is. I mean, it's a common thing. I mean, we talked about how something as simple as changing a mailing or email address or a phone number becomes something that doesn't get reported back to your insurance company or agent. Certainly when you have changes like this, you want to make sure you're considering the potential impact. Or maybe you're thinking, Farmer's Almanac says we'll have snow. Let's go get a snowmobile or do something different this year with some outdoor recreation. There are things that could certainly impact your insurance. You want to make sure you're properly protected, And even thinking back, Jeff, to, inspecting your chimneys and making sure your wood stoves are safe. Something that I got to do at my house every year is I got to turn off the spigots to the hose because I got to make sure that I'm not going to have some frozen plumbing as a result. So if you have the ability to turn off those spigots to the hose, or if you get one of those insulated covers that you can snap on the outside to keep them covered, you want to try to think about what kinds of loss can really rear their ugly head as we change seasons, and that is certainly something to think about.
Well, in the few mornings that we've had frost here, I mean, it's obviously not been sub-zero, but, I mean, with the frost, that's kind of a
It
wake-up
feels
call.
sub-zero.
It does, compared to the 70s and 80s that we're used to here. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's always good to go over your coverage. I mean, your vehicles get older, or you get a newer vehicle, or things like that. The amount we talked last week of the distance that you travel to work. A lot of folks now are working from home, so they're traveling. Their work traveled down. These are things to consider.
Yeah, and one thing too, Jeff, we're seeing a lot of is we're seeing households combining. We're seeing a lot of parents moving in with the kids, or kids moving in with the parents. Or in one situation that I've seen, or a couple actually, I've seen folks whose parents and kids have moved in. This pandemic has really changed and shifted a lot of things dramatically, and even something as simple as that can impact your coverage. So it's something to have the conversation about and be proactive. I always say, and I don't think I've said it in a while, but be your own advocate and be prepared. And all it takes is a simple email or phone call just to make sure that you're dotting the I's and crossing the T's so that you don't have surprises should something occur.
I got to throw in a little humor here as we prepare to wrap this up, Mike, but I just had visions of the Waltons when you said that.
It very much resembles that, I think, in some circumstances. But this is an ever-changing world, and with something in front of us or ahead of us, behind us, that we've never thought would be possible in our lifetime. So things continue to evolve, and we're here to help address it for you.
All right, so folks, get in touch with your insurance agent. Mike, tell folks how they can get in touch with you at the office.
Absolutely. You can give us a call. Our office is open from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and you can reach us at 748-5224. We're located on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Online, thebarrettagency.com, where you can get a free home or auto quote. And then, of course, you can find us on YouTube, Google, and Facebook. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency.
And for the folks that do want to stop in and do face-to-face, you guys are practicing all CDC guidelines, of course.
I look a lot better with a mask on. Absolutely.
I look better with the radio on. Mike, thanks for a great chat. Enjoy the next week, and we'll chat with you next Tuesday, okay?
Absolutely. Get out and enjoy some of those colors that are starting to pop.
Surely will. Thanks an awful lot. Good policies on Magic in the Morning. We go back to the music with Savage Garden.